and there's a willow plant. And the Lunacy Commission, the state council, we'll take it, and we'll start moving African Americans here. This is a picture. The train track, you know, came straight through Crownsville. They're still there, by the way. Anne Arundel County Cultural Resources is back there doing work. They just recently had a dig not far from the train tracks. So where are they coming from? They're coming from hospitals that are already established. For example, Spring Road. Let's move all the black people out to Anne Arundel County. They're coming from Frederick, the jails for the mentally and criminally insane. So this picture is a Marion Warren picture. Most people know Marion Warren. He was the photographer. I was given a book called Maryland Exposures by Marion Warren. And I set it down on the table and it just flipped open. I'm like, dear God, what is this? Look at those faces. But what stood out to me, there's only one white male in this picture. Dressed like a what? A doctor. So, you know, me, I was just back the book real quick. What all this is? This is where Crownsville started. In the willow plant on Bacon Ridge. Now let me explain something to you. You all know Crownsville State Hospital has 1,000 acres. Then they built 97. So 97 went right through the middle of it. So it's 500 acres on one side on Crownsville Road, 500 acres on the other called Bacon Ridge, which now belongs to Anne Arundel County government for passive use. And on Bacon Ridge is the Crownsville State Hospital Patient Cemetery. Stones as far as you can see. Not until the 50s did they start taking a limb or something or a pencil and writing names in the concrete. But the names go, we don't know where 100 through 600 is. We see 700 through 1400. And we know that the state of Maryland cut into the cemetery when they built 97. They've never admitted to it. But because I go up there so often, the maintenance guys say, yeah, we had to put the stones back because they washed out. So this is the beginning of the hospital. Why Willow? During the World War, because most of the men from the community went to war, there was nobody to make the baskets, to send them overseas. So they used them in the hospital for their labor.
When was that vote?
It had to be 1910 or 1911. So they start to come to the hospital, they start to build it. Guess what? They are completely self-sufficient. This is a hospital. Now, I want you to understand, while they brought some of the criminally insane, the majority of the people were there because they had tuberculosis. So they were feeble and sickly. The best air in the state of Maryland. Bacon Ridge, clean air, tuberculosis. And the Lunacy Board, who I read their records, the superintendent said, oh, you should see the wonders of the fresh air. The criminally insane, they're not criminally insane anymore. They have things to do. They're growing their own food. Look at them. And they're probably on all kinds of drugs. This is Crownsville State Hospital. They didn't have to bring anything in. And let me tell you something else. During the wars, when men and their sons and their nephews were gone to war, the state of Maryland would go to Crownsville and put these men on a truck, and they were used to till the fields. And that cost would help reduce their state costs for room and board at a state hospital. So they actually were taken from the hospital to do work, but this is, some of these things are still up here, by the way. I get a chance to ride by and it just makes me want to cry when I see, these rotting buildings. That's still up there, rotting. But look at the self-sufficiency. They don't have to work out for anything. That's still there. I take pictures of that every time I go by the highway, and I just want to send them all to Governor Hogan and say, come on now. Why is this thing still sitting in the middle of Anne Arundel County in District 6 rotting? It's not doing anything for rotting. Janet Owens didn't want it because of the mitigation costs. But it's been so long that the groundwater is starting to clear, that it's not contaminated anymore. And so I gotta tell you who wants it now.
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
I'm confused. Was this movement to create these hospitals for African Americans part of a enlightened thing, or was it just a way to sort the problem out and have it done?
It was twofold. It was enlightenment, and the conditions were so poor that it couldn't be ignored. That's why they wanted to condemn these buildings. The conditions were so poor, and you can't fill up a jail with black people with mental problems when they should be in a hospital.
So there was some grain of,
Yes.
at least initially, spirit of trying to do something good for these.
And also, we gotta get them off the streets. They're in the streets with mental problems, you know, just like the homelessness problem we have now. That's how we got rid of the homelessness problem back then. Jails are full, so yes, it was humanitarian.
Go along with that. What kept these people there? I mean, they were free to roam, could they not have just walked away?
They could have, but they were very ill. And what kept them there was the doors and the locks. Doors, locks, security. Because people, that's when you living around Brownsville, you really concerned that these people will get up and walk away and walk into your backyard or whatever. So it was security. And I mean, that place was locked up tight, like a prison. If you go into prison now, it would be the same kind of conditions that was here. So again, they're not coming out for anything. They are self-sufficient. They're making their own clothes. They're growing their own food. They're selling stuff. They're selling willow because they have a willow plant.
Did they have children there?
Eventually, children came. That's a very sad story, but eventually, children were put there because people are born with deformed, all kinds of places, and now instead of you hiding them in the basement of your house, this is the humanitarian thing to do, is to take them to a place like this. And guess what? A lot of these people don't have family. Let's think about the African American diaspora. We come here, then slavery is over. Then where does everybody go? Everybody tries to go north to go free, right? You cutting through Maryland, things don't work out for you. You have no family, you have no money, and guess what the biggest fear on God's eternal earth was if you were black and in Maryland? It's an institution we know very well. It's called Johns Hopkins. Their fear of Johns Hopkins was called the night doctor, because the doctors would be out roaming for bodies in order to train their medical students. So if you read the Henrietta Lacks book, you need to come here to this lecture. If you read the Henrietta Lacks books, that is what they will tell you. Black people were fearful of doctors because they were fearful they would be used for experimentation purposes.
Live people were, the doctors.
You might be live when they get you.
But the doctors would capture live people?
That is what is believed. That is what the stories that are told in the Henrietta Lacks book.
It's a well documented, it's a book about some doctor he would purchase female slaves to practice gynecological surgery.
Exactly right.
And it's just, you know,
It's called,
I have students come in here, some practice.
what's the name of the book? It's called Medical,
Jet, it's,
Apartheid or something like that. It's about how African Americans were used. Guess who's doing the building of the hospital? The patients. They're building their own hospital, along with contractors that are coming up from, Hampton. They're building their own hospital. This is amazing. There they are. That's Crownsville State Hospital, everybody. That's still standing, and our governor is letting it fall down on its own. It's called demolition by neglect.
It's really well built now.
Very well built.
Standing.
Yeah. If you look at, who the contractors were, you can see they were